Well, you have a great profile, Deputy Governor. But my question is, how does this profile then fit in the agenda of serving the people of Turkana? Because there's a lot. Maybe just in a few words.
This profile helps me, first of all, to one of my dockets is resource mobilization, partnerships, and NGOs coordination.
Yes.
We have pulled resources from our development partners through resource mobilization, partnerships, engagements, and other initiatives through private sector engagements.
And another thing is spending bills, particularly paying county government workers. And these are some of the issues that were actually raised. And the Senate were asking why.
When there are delays in salaries, it does not mean that the governor and myself pay ourselves. We are all in the same payroll. There may be some kind of technical processes or procedural issues that may delay salaries. And even me, I haven't been paid for 2 months.
This actually begs me to ask, what generally is now the plan of yourself and the governor for the people of Turkana?
Let me just say we pride as the Turkana County because since we came in, 45% of our workforce are actually young people.
Yes.
And that is very strategic.
45%.
Yes,
Okay.
of our workforce.
Yes.
Since we came in,
Okay.
45, and we have also ensured that 1/3 gender rule applies in all our key appointments, including people with disabilities.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Power Table. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. This is where we get to delve deeply into issues that concerns you, on issues, politics, economy, and many other issues. Of course, as we bring on board various stakeholders from thought leaders, political figures, and various people that are of concern to the critical issues that we're talking about. Well, tonight, we are delighted and honored to host the Deputy Governor of Turkana County, that is John Erus, Dr. John Erus, who is joining us for this conversation. In this interview, we will be exploring how devolution has shaped the lives of Turkana residents over the last decade and the relationship between the county and national government, and what plans and opportunities lie ahead to unlock Turkana's full potential. We will also look at how development partners and investors are working with the county to transform the livelihoods that drive sustainable growth, and that is particularly for the people of Turkana. We're going to critically look into the issue of devolution, of course, through the lenses of a deputy governor, asking critical issues and questions that concern you. Well, this conversation begins right now. Thank you so much, Deputy Governor, for joining us for this conversation. This is the Power Table.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Perhaps the first question will be that how did you find yourself as a deputy governor? People will want to know. Is it that you had political ambitions and why not to go for the governor? What are the metrics that you guys use to say that you'll become the deputy governor, someone else will become a governor, and why not any other position? Why the deputy governor? Generous.
Thank you, Eugene Kwach.
Yes.
My name is Dr. John Erus, Deputy Governor, Turkana County.
Mhm.
I want to thank the host for having me in the show.
Yes.
Briefly, I have a doctorate in public health,
Yes.
and I have a master's in social justice and intercultural relations.
Mhm.
And I have a bachelor's degree in education. So that tells you that I bring a combination of, I see issues affecting Turkana, Kenya, or the world from those three lenses, and they all speak about human dignity, participation, empowerment, and ability for people to be able to organize themselves to achieve better. lives for themselves. And so before the thoughts of even becoming the deputy governor, immediately after my high school, I did teach in schools in Kenya for about 3 years. And then I pursued further studies. And by 2001, I had finished my bachelor's of education degree. And I got to work for Catholic Justice and Peace Commission as the deputy director for the program. And in that program, I was in charge mostly issues to do with human rights, documentation, civic education, as well as peace promotion in the region, as peace is one of the critical development initiative that in Turkana. So it was during that time that I spent within Turkana as a young person. We developed not only just looking at the issue of exclusion, or at that time we were saying deliberate discrimination, or deliberate mostly exclusion.
Yeah.
And during that time, my goal was to look at the role of the national government in promoting the lives of the Turkana people.
Interesting.
And we did a lot of work in issues to do with nationhood, to even educate the Turkanas. Who are they in terms of Kenya? And how do they identify themselves as citizens? Because the conversations around that time, people from northern Kenya, of course, we know the history of that marginalization. So we didn't want to dwell in the conversation of marginalization. We wanted to look at what opportunities do we have as first generation of Turkanas going to school to bring the conversation about governance, roles of citizens. And so during that time, I did a lot of things from voter education to reforms in education. We worked with the UNICEF around that time to introduce human rights in education curriculum. We worked with other partners, Kenya Human Rights Commission, Kenya National Human Rights, Kituo cha Sheria, and other stakeholders to actually introduce human rights at the police training at Kiganjo. We introduced a school's human rights program called Pamoja kwa Haki. We also did social audits of national, both national and during that time they developed the units were county council, municipal councils. We did social audit training programs for communities. We did paralegal education. When you came to Turkana last week, during the East African Legal Empowerment Summit, the work that I did within the Diocese of Lodwar was to develop small claims courts, which became part of the criminal justice reforms through the judiciary and also the alternative justice systems. These systems I pioneered to develop them. We worked with Joaquin Nungu in 2005, 2006 to develop Sexual Offences Act. We also worked with other stakeholders to improve on governance in general. We did a publication of a magazine called Sauti ya Jamii, which became a popular news outlet for Turkana and actually across the nation, working with Father Dolan. So all issues to do with the human rights, social justice, access to justice to the poor, criminal reforms, building the infrastructure for ensuring that we improve on community justice systems from the lens of social justice, human rights, and legal penal law, to bridge in the gaps in the community justice system. So this is the foundation that I've built on. The second part of that was also look at the entire socioeconomic development plan. So the socioeconomic development plan we developed in 2002, 2003, which was an improvement of 1997 plan for Diocese of Lodwar, looked at the issues of socioeconomic development in terms of youth development and empowerment. So we did what they called work experience training for youth. We did livelihoods program integrating humanitarian support as well as long-term development program in key sectors, health, education, food security, as well as those foundations. So when I was in Turkana, I had a chance to get the Ford Fellowship. That is how I went to the U.S. To do my social justice and intercultural relations. And that was very important because also the issues affecting our nation required someone who has the capacity and the skills to be able to look at those things from intercultural lens. And Turkana being close to Uganda, Southern Sudan, and Ethiopia, plus hosting 26 nationalities of refugees, and also the dynamics of what we were working with in Kenya. That training was really important to me. So in the U.S., I did work with the Save the Children Child Development Program in areas of advocacy, fundraising, and partnerships. And then I also moved to the University of Massachusetts, where I was a research fellow at the Institute for Global Health. And then I continued to offer my services in men's health in a program called Men of Color Health Awareness program, and also did programs in mental health, and I did all that through COVID. So when I came to Turkana, I was not new to the life in Kenya or the politics in Kenya, because I have led a transformative and strategic investments in shaping the political landscape in Turkana. But I wasn't really very prepared, both in terms of resources or emotionally, to invest in politics. But I did, when I came from Turkana, consulted for Frederick Newman Foundation, which is a political foundation here for Building Bridges initiative. And that initiative made me interact with various political parties. And through that work, after I finished, I was doing my final report. I was in Amboseli when I got a phone call from Governor Lumurkai asking me to join him in the ticket. Whereas that was not initially something that was on my mind.
Yes.
I would say my mother played a big role. There is a friend who did a story about life of service, articulating the things that I did, that when my mother came to the U.S. because of COVID and because of the political climate in the U.S. around that time, and the challenges with Black Lives Matter, my mother was a little disturbed that leaving me in the U.S., I may probably end up coming back to Kenya dead. And so, whereas she said that she will pray and for me I will get a job in Kenya, it immediately come to me that it will come in the form of being in politics. But all the same, I am happy as the deputy governor, and my goal is to support the governor to make sure that all the efforts, the social development infrastructure that I started, and the devolved government institutions that the first government of devolution, devolved government established, that we can build on them using the skills, experience, exposure, and the technology that we think if we shape it very properly, we can tailor it to respond to the relevant development agenda that Turkana deserves.
Quite much interesting. But you have a great profile, Deputy Governor. But my question is, how does this profile then fit in the agenda of serving the people of Turkana? Because there's a lot. Maybe just in a few words, how does all these profile, great profile indeed, how does it even help you then in the service of the people of Turkana?
This profile helps me, first of all, to one of my dockets is resource mobilization, partnerships, and NGOs coordination.
Yes.
We have pulled resources from our development partners through resource mobilization, partnerships, engagements, and other initiatives through private sector engagements.
Yeah.
In terms of resources that I could probably say close to about 5 to 7 billion investments.
Wow.
The second thing
Yes.
is involvement of private sector. So we have hosted the United Asian Network. We have also hosted Borel. This is a German-based organization. We have also hosted Give Power, and we have also managed to bring other development partners
Yes.
into Turkana
Yeah.
that are currently doing with ecosystem restoration.
Yeah.
We are also investing in agriculture. We have already established aggregation centers working with the World Food Program and the Prospects 2 project. We have pushed for establishment of clear value chains by tapping into the expertise that exists in the country. For example, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute.
Yes.
They have helped us to map out the capacities that they have
Yes.
to develop key value chains.
Yes.
My contribution is also working with the governor to develop a long-term development plan for Turkana. We already have 25-year water master plan for Lodo municipality, which takes care of the entire ecosystem from Loima up to Lake Turkana.
Yes.
We are completing county-wide spatial plan, and that spatial plan is a roadmap to us. It is both a process of key investments with a valuable outcome as a result of that.
Yeah.
Lastly, but not least, through a program by International Finance Corporation, Equity Bank and IFC, in collaboration with the Turkana County government, have a $20 million risk sharing facility for businesses. So we are seeing Turkana as one of the biggest viable market.
Yes.
And IFC have been building that socio-economic development program.
Yeah.
And so we are aligning our strategic key investments with key value chains.
Yeah.
And these value chains are the ones that we think we can build on as establishing a nexus between development and investments. So bringing private sector.
Yeah.
In terms of the national government, I think The president has committed to joining Turkana into the main grid.
Okay.
Currently, efforts towards connecting Lodwar to the main grid
Yes.
are ongoing.
Okay.
Also support for Lake Turkana transport system and
Yes.
developing programs for investments on Lake Turkana.
Okay, we'll talk about some of these issues you've actually delved into.
Yeah.
But first things first, and because several issues were raised, particularly when at the Senate, when the county government of Turkana was hosted at the Senate. And some of the issues that were raised was, number one, there are unfinished projects. And that is now like the county headquarters. We talk about the industrial parks, among many other unfinished projects. And they were asking how and why. And they also the lack of value for money, because they feel that some of the projects actually have excessive budget or actually inflated costs. So another thing is pending bills, particularly paying county government workers. And these are some of the issues that were actually raised, and the Senate were asking why. And some of the issues, these are also some of the issues the Kenyans are asking why. Maybe what are the underlying issues why maybe these people have not been paid, and why we have some of these challenges still at the county. What is not happening?
Devolution is one of the best things that happened to Kenya. When I left Turkana in 2007, the socio-economic development programs, and even in terms of the structures that were established to reduce or to address key issues to do with the food security, investments in health, infrastructure, schools. What I saw after devolution in Turkana is something that I'd expected to witness when I'm in my late 70s or 80s or my old age. So let me just categorically say that what devolution has done for Turkana, for example, it is something that is commendable, and it is something that I would proudly say we are on the right track. You raise very important issues, and I think if you have had Public Accounts Committee for all counties have identified key issues to do with either stalled projects or maybe variations that are created. Let me first say that when governments are in transitions, you inherit things that have been there before. And I think Governor Murkaya and myself do believe that all public projects where public resources have been invested should be completed so that the public gets value for those projects. Number two, I think Turkana is 77,000 square kilometers. And that means that the cost of business can be varied. Varied in the sense that from Lodwar to Kibish, which is the farthest point to the border to the north, it is 420 kilometers. And to Kapedo or to the south, it is almost same distance, 400 kilometers. So the cost of those projects would vary. Okay. If we say that we have a standardized cost for some of those projects, that is one explanation as to why in Turkana, for example, there could be variation. Number two, oversight in institutions, some of the issues that you have raised are issues that are with the oversight institutions. And I cannot speak directly to them. However, The only thing I want to mention is that these projects, some of these projects, may have been undertaken and assessed by different or different valuations were made to them. And what is very important is that the people who are responsible, like just what the chair of the Public Accounts Committee said, that these are resources that are traceable. So if these resources are traceable, then that is something that can be followed up by those oversight institutions. The other issue to do with the payment of salaries, one of the things that could delay salaries, and I really want to say this, I know we have had this conversation. When there are delays in salaries, it does not mean that Governor and myself pay ourselves. We are all in the same payroll. There may be some kind of technical processes or procedural issues that may delay salaries. But Governor and I believe this is a moral question. But I also want to say that compared to some other counties, Turkana, we always pay staff on time. There has been some delay to which was actually procedural or technical in nature.
Yes.
By virtue of the fact that we have been moving from one system to another.
Yes.
And even me, I haven't been paid for 2 months.
Yes.
So, but by last week, the banks were processing salaries for all our employees, and I am very confident that by the end of this week, all our staff will have received their salaries.
Interesting. As the Deputy Governor of Turkana County, you have a special front row seat in implementing devolution. Devolution came about from 2013. That is when it came to play. In your honest assessment, has devolution truly delivered on its promise to transform the lives of people, and particularly in Turkana and places like the Attica regions, which we believe are socially and economically disenfranchised? Do you believe that it has actually transformed these places?
NEPAD peer review assessments of counties have demonstrated evidence of growth and evidence of the potential for counties to first of all develop faster and also contribute to the gross domestic product. And in those peer reviews, I have seen tremendous investments in various counties, be it health, food security, in areas of education, technology enhancement, and that peer review and learning gives me the confidence that devolution is working. In Turkana, is unique, has tremendous potential. That potential has not been fully developed. As I mentioned to you, we are aligning our key value chains, building the capacities, building on the locally adaptable technologies to develop those technologies. Turkana sits at a very strategic location, just by proximity to northern Uganda. Northern Uganda Ugandan government is investing in industrial parks. We have the biggest education hub in Turkana West in Kakuma. Southern Sudan is still developing, and we have a road that links Kenya to Southern Sudan, and then Southern Ethiopia. So the strategic location of Turkana and strategic resources within Turkana can demonstrate that Turkana can grow into one of the fastest and biggest economy in the region, because those regions depend on Turkana, and Turkana has the infrastructure that can stimulate economic growth in that area and trade. We have cross-border initiatives, including the Kimoromor. This is a multi-sectoral response that we developed that brings in social infrastructure, health, human and then animal health, environment and energy together, so that it is accessible across the border.
Okay.
We have developed a memorandum of understanding with Uganda, and with a resource sharing agreement that is before President Ruto and President Museveni. And Southern Sudan and Southern Ethiopia is developing interest to be joined in this document. So we are trying to take a holistic approach to the question of devolution, and not forgetting about extraction of oil.
Yes. Well, that is quite much interesting. What is actually your view on what the county government has actually brought closer to the people? But of course, there's certain issues probably that people would dare ask when you talk about some of these resources. And let us look at Turkana as it is. Turkana is actually rich in oil reserves, but many residents actually still feel that these benefits, they are not visible at the ground. And particularly when we talk about oil, and of course I think also gold and gemstones. Yeah. They say these are not actually visible on the ground. What is the plan to ensure actually that these oils and even gas revenue translate into now tangible development for the people?
One of the things that we have done, which our government did immediately we came in, we are looking at Turkana land as a resource where we need to develop a strategic plan for its development. We are looking at a 3.6 trillion investments with a viable on-source revenue collection up to a tune of about 3 billion. All this requires investments, and so International Finance Corporation currently is supporting us to develop land use policy and plan in terms of urban areas development, in terms of key resources and key investments infrastructure. We have organized land registration and regularization so that our people can be able to get a certificate of leases or certificates of title. In areas where there are oil reserves, that is the South Lokichar Basin, the whole of that land is now fully registered. And so we expect value for those communities.
Okay, quite interesting. But of course, just as there's still a lot of other reserves apart from the gold.
Yes, and yes, with the gold, we are organizing our communities into. We are developing one of the key value chains is artisanal value chain. Where we are organizing our people into cooperatives, and these cooperatives are the ones that we are going to use as facilitators for key investments in these viable value chains that we have already identified.
This actually begs me to ask, what generally is now the plan of yourself and the governor for the people of Turkana? And when I ask that, because you've talked a bit about this, particularly I'll ask on human capital and youth empowerment, and actually the opportunities that we even have for women there, because we understand that the youth are a very it's a very important group, and some of them actually jobless. I don't know the situation in Turkana and what you are doing about it, and probably other issues within the county, such as capacity building, even that will ensure that then the people themselves are empowered to also contribute greatly to the development of Turkana.
Let me just say we pride as the Turkana County because since we came in, 45% of our workforce are actually young people.
Yes.
And that is very strategic.
45%.
Yes,
Okay.
of our workforce.
Yes.
Since we came in,
Okay.
45. And we have also ensured that one-third gender rule applies in all our key appointments, including people with disabilities.
Yes.
We are doing very well in that field. We are organizing both youth and women into cooperatives, aligning them with the key value chains. We believe that if we align them with the key value chains, that all strategic investments can go to develop those value chains. So our county aggregation and industrial parks is aligned with our strategic key value chains.
Yes.
And these value chains are the ones that we believe are going to stimulate the economy.
Yes.
So we have Biashara Fund,
Okay.
we have Youth Enterprise Fund, we have Women Funds, and we have also developed a policy that gives them priority in terms of the works or the tenders that they receive from the county governments. And so those are ways through which we feel we can support them.
Yes.
Currently, we are also implementing a public works program, and in public works program, we are encouraging our youth. There is a project that we are already supporting to pave about 250 kilometers of roads within Kakuma municipality alone, where we are going to have 10,000 youth, 5,000 from the host community and 5,000 from the refugees. So we hope that that kind of engagements will will support our young people. We are also working with the International Labour Organization and Kenya Forestry Research because Matenge is one of the biggest invasive plants that has already infiltrated all the arable lands. So we are working with the with the Kenya Forestry Research with the technology that they have to utilize the Matenge or to manage it through utilization. So we have currently 12 entrepreneurship groups that are using that technology to be able to make livestock feeds, which is also part of our key strategic investments, livestock development. Yeah.
So how do you then, because you have good work that you're doing, but we also understand that some projects actually are run by the national government. The government has also an agenda, like the president talks of bottom-up economic agenda. Now, that is what he is working with, which has certain pillars within it. So I'm trying to understand, how does then the agenda of the county align with that of the national agenda as you push forward, or are they different?
They are not different because, for example, investments in Lake Turkana requires both national government and county government and development partners investments. When we are thinking about tourism promotion in Turkana, we are thinking of linking Marsabit and Turkana so that people who from Nairobi who go for Shelby Desert drives, they can actually get into a water bus or a ferry from Marsabit and then cross to Turkana. The president wants to establish the modern science park in Turkana because Tobonglore is now a brand for Kenya as a home of human origin. And I have personally had discussions with the UNESCO and countries that are hosting UNESCO to establish a satellite center in Turkana to enable to fast track the development of the museum. And other investments is the roads linking Uganda and Kenya and Southern Sudan and Ethiopia. These are critical infrastructure that the president has already committed into developing, putting some resources. So definitely, when you listen to what we are doing in terms of aligning our groups within those key value chains and risking their businesses, we actually building up, the economy bottom up.
Wow.
Because we believe once we put that infrastructure in place,
Yes.
then it will be easier to stimulate the economic growth that directly contributes to the gross national domestic product.
Yes. You've mentioned a number of times how the partnership between the national government, the county government of Turkana, and also you've also mentioned about development partners. And I'm just trying to understand how Turkana, because Turkana actually has historically relied on strong support from the development partners, that is the NGOs, the humanitarian agencies. How would you describe their current role in complementing the county government's development agenda? Bearing also that we've had in the recent times a dwindling support from the humanitarian groups. So how is it so far?
When we were sworn in, Governor and I made a very strategic move.
Yes.
That we wanted all our development partners to co-create the programs with us.
Yes.
And my job as the person coordinating these NGOs was to come up with a framework that avoids duplication and redistributes our development partners, especially in areas where their presence was very minimal, like Kibich sub-county, Turkana East sub-county. And so we also entrusted those agreements of their investments with the Turkana County Assembly, so that we have one government approach in terms of managing and coordinating development partners.
Okay.
And so co-creation really makes us to co-invest in areas we feel that we need to put more effort. So without the development partners' investments, it would have been a little bit challenging to build the infrastructure we have in Turkana. Currently, what we are doing is we are the ones, the Turkana County government is the one driving the agenda. And we want the development partners to help us layer the development. So we are trying to identify key projects. That's why we have, I said that the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute has already mapped for us viable value chains. So these value chains are the ones that we really want to develop on. And we get technical assistance and support that we need, and building the capacities that we require, so that these development programs both open room for their contribution as well as private sector investments. This is why we have been able to continue, even with the stop work order from the United States. The USAID programs did not completely stall our operations because we did co-investments and we were able to realign our contribution to minimize the negative impacts that would affect. And so it was easy for us to review our budgets and engage the county assembly to make strategic adjustments for that specific purpose. And so we are very happy that even though Turkana has been said to rely a lot on development partners, it is really the first phase of Turkana's development was really the case of non-state actors. And so we owe them a lot of support. We owe them the capacities that they have built. But right now, we are aligning our strategic investments with the key strategic capacity building.
Okay, quite much interesting. But how does the future look like? Because we have seen a dwindling humanitarian support. How does the future look like? Because they have actually, as you've mentioned, supported you a lot. What do you think the future would look like without the assistance?
Without the assistance, that's why Governor and I are looking at long-term investments. If we build on these key value chains, for example, fish and fisheries value chain, that is one of the biggest. If we do natural resources, that's also one of them.
Okay.
If we look at the livestock sector or livestock products, that is also one of the other key value chains. And the president has already directed that the Lomidat abattoir and Nauren Puhu Tannery be opened, and key investments are already beginning to be channeled to make this work. So we are seeing a future of Turkana and a Turkana that will be a model for Kenya, which also would show, demonstrate to Kenya and Africa how a county like Turkana is able to come from ground up to be a model for Kenya and a model for the Eastern African region or the Horn of Africa, and likely showing the visibility of the influence that Kenya has, not only just in Africa region, but globally.
Quite much interesting. What are the public-private partnerships are you guys looking at that probably could even help build sustainable businesses for the people in Turkana? Because in as much as the county government is running some, maybe to empower the people directly, but there are people already who have businesses, who have things they're doing. So how is the government even, the county government of Turkana, how is it even looking at how it can support them to create opportunities for other people?
We are encouraging co-investments.
Yes.
My job is to look at also private sector investments. As you saw today, I had a meeting with the CEO, Ronalds. And some of this, it's just because we are ignoring the capacities that we have, both in terms of the institutional capacity, technical assistance, and the key locally adaptable technologies, because these are really key for me when we are looking at investments in food security. National government, county government, and development partners, we are already working on a framework of doing an irrigation in Turkana, covering up to about 500,000 acres of land. So we are exploring a possibility of contract farming. Kerio Valley Development Authority has completed some of the demonstration farms. We are working with the World Food Program to use ecosystem approach in terms of food systems. We are also working with other development partners in areas of mining. So cooperative strategy for us, and private sector investments, working in collaboration with the national government, holds the key for unlocking those key value chains.
Quite much interesting. Deputy Governor, let's talk about Shirika Plan. This is a plan that I've known that the government of Turkana has advocated for so much. But what is this Shirika Plan? What if people are asking, what is this Shirika Plan? What is it? What is in it for the people of Turkana, particularly the pastoralists, the refugees, and everyone, including the youth and the women?
Turkana sits in a very fragile ecosystem.
Yes.
And this ecosystem is fragile because of a number of factors, including climate change, change in seasons, and also we have a high traffic of refugees hosted in Turkana. Whereas there is really no clear number of how many refugees, documented refugees in Kakuma, but it is approximated to be those that are recorded could be around 480, but we estimate that number to be more than 600,000. So the porous nature of those borders allows people to come in, move out. So mobility across the region and impact to the environment is really key. So Kenya has hosted refugees for more than 30 years, and majority of these refugees are in Kakuma.
Yes.
So Shirika plan is a national government strategy. It is not really the county government strategy, but it's been developed from a framework of Kalobeye Integrated Economic Development.
Yes.
And this framework has allowed the refugees to engage in businesses to, rather than just staying in the camps.
Yes.
There are three things. Issue number one, majority of refugees would like to go to other countries, maybe in Europe. That window is closing down very quickly because of harsh immigration laws globally. Secondly, even those who have gone back have to their countries, they have found their way back into Kakuma. And then thirdly, there are those who have already identified Kenya as part of their home, and they really want to stay. These are pathways that do exist, and for them, and because of dwindling financial support from development partners, UNHCR, and cuts in funding, and this funding is not going to be feasible. There are very few countries that still have resources that can support refugees. And in Turkana alone, we are talking about close to about over 600,000 individuals. So that has a direct strain in terms of the integrated services that we provide. So the national government plan, which is now Shirika plan, builds on what already works in Kalobeye Integrated Development Plan, and try to put in a framework that supports both the Turkanas, that is the host community, and the refugees. So Shirika plan has several pillars, including the issue of system strengthening both national and county governments to be able to deliver service with the support of some of the development partners, and as UNHCR as the lead partner. And then we have the issue of socio-economic development plan. We also have issues to do with other pillars that deal with various aspects of the refugees. So Shirika plan is supposed to address three key issues. Key issue number one, the government to be supported to be able to provide these services to all this, but using also the community, the Kenyan community approach support the refugees. Number two is to look at what is visible within the Refugee Act 2021 and its provisions, and whether those provisions can help them they can realize their potential. And then number three is also to provide them pathways. We have a question of anyone who is 30 years of age or younger would probably have been born in Kakuma. So what do we deal with them, because they do not become automatic citizens of Kenya through naturalization. So they have to be registered as residents, and they will have to go through a process for them to become Kenyans. This is the question that is already out there.
Yes.
So Shirika plan has not really gotten into the national discourse
Yes.
in terms of how do you integrate these refugees, because we are talking about large numbers of these individuals. So, and that is where you have the confusion. People are not very clear what is this Shirika plan. They think it is something new, but it is really just trying to find a solution to supporting the refugees.
Okay.
So that those
So is
who
it a
want to go.
flagship project of the Turkana County?
This is it is a project of all the counties, a national government initiative, a multi-annual plan for counties that are hosting refugees. That is Turkana, Garissa, Nairobi, and a few other urban refugees who are living in other urban areas of Kenya. So, but I think what is really needed here is that we agree that the counties should lead the effort towards integration, and we need to have a national dialogue to discuss what integration will look like in terms of we are talking about close to over 1 million refugees in Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, quite interesting. This is very interesting. And probably I'll be able to ask about what the future would look like. And when we talk about what the future looks like, that is particularly on the vision that you and the governor have for the people of Turkana by the end of this time. What should the residents of Turkana actually expect? Probably in terms of the flagship projects that you have and even the transformative programs that are there for the people.
For Turkana West in particular, we are looking at sustainable, long-term sustainable water infrastructure.
Yeah.
So we are looking at, if we tap water from River Taraj, and this discussion I have had with development partners and other private sector investors. That is one of the flagship projects that we believe can open the potential for integration, because we have land which we can farm. We can do integrated feedlots within the area. We have 5 key value chains. The area is potential for creating a county aggregation and industrial park. And so these are and then we have developed prerequisite skills. We have also built the institutions that will continue to offer the skills that are needed. So Shirika plan and the future of Turkana in terms of looking at it from the pillars of the Shirika plan is more beneficial than conflictual. And the provisions about whether the refugees are going to be granted political rights, that is near to impossible. And I think the people who wants to bring the confusion are using that narrative to confuse the intention of the national government in solving the issue of the refugee question in Kenya.
Wow. Quite much interesting, sir. I think that is well put, well said. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. As we come to the end of this discourse, probably your parting shot to the people of Turkana. Tukimalizia sasa.
For the people of Turkana, I want you to believe in our government. There is no government that we build this infrastructure and we make mistakes along the way. But I want you to believe that for Turkana, we have identified 9 key value chains. Those are very strategic value chains that we want to put our resources there. It will stimulate economic growth in Turkana. It will deal with the issue of poverty. We should be able to transform Turkana and to become one of the biggest business hub in the region. We have already identified institutions in Kenya that can offer us locally adaptable technology to develop those key value chains. Our spatial plan has already identified these key resources. So we have believed that all the projects that are unfinished, where public resources have been put, we are prioritizing them, not really for purposes of achieving political mileage, but because we believe this is key and this is necessary for us to be able to fight poverty, reduce hunger, and improve the livelihoods of the region, and to transform Turkana into one of the biggest economies in the Horn of Africa. And so you have confidence in us, you have belief in us, and we have your back, and we will do everything to make sure that the future that we all dream and the future that we want to live in this region, both in Turkana and Kenya, Africa, and the world, is going to be achievable. So continue believing in us, and we seek for your support, and will continue being your stewards.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bona Deputy Governor
Yeah, thank you.
of Turkana County. That is Dr. John Erus. Lepo?
Lopeyok.
Lopeyok.
Yes.
And of course, it's coming from Turkana. Turkana is the heart of one of Kenya's most unique and fast-changing regions. Turkana is actually called the next frontier, a land rich in natural resources, culture, and potential, but also one that faces significant challenges in health, infrastructure, food security, and climate resilience. But of course, the governor says that these are some of the issues actually that they are working on, and as particularly when you talk about the key value chains that they are working on to build and make Turkana a great place. And I'm wishing you the best, Bona Deputy Governor,
Thank
in your
you.
endeavors. That is great
Yeah.
explanation of what is actually happening in Turkana and the plans for the future that you have, long term and even the short term. Thank you so much. My name is Eugene Kwach. This has been the Power Table, where we get to discuss issues that concern you. Well, till next time, good night. And this is the Power Table.